Hello and welcome to Success Formulas.
14 behaviors that ruin relationships. When we start a new relationship, we are all on our best behavior. But as time passes by, everyone's true colors start to show. If you are wondering what behaviors are okay and what are the bad signs for the future of your relationships, check out our selection of the behaviors that can ruin a relationship. Before we continue the video, we'd like to thank all of our subscribers. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Your support helps us keep making more helpful and interesting content. Now let's get back to the video. Number 1. Spending too much time together. It may seem natural that people in a relationship tend to spend a lot of time together, but it turns out that spending too much time together can damage your relationship. The problem is that you risk losing yourself in the other person. You also risk isolating yourself from other important people in your life. You don't get to pursue your own dreams and goals. Then you'll start wondering who you are outside the relationship. And that dissatisfaction will reflect on the relationship too. You can never be happy in a relationship if you are not happy by yourself. Number 2. Lying to keep the peace. We all sometimes feel tempted to lie to keep the peace in the relationship. Maybe your partner is driving you crazy with their concerns that seem unreasonable to you. Or maybe you say you like their friends when in fact you can't stand each other. In those times, you will feel the urge to lie just so that you don't make things worse. But that is exactly what will make things worse for your relationship in the end. It doesn't matter that you mean well. You cannot build a strong relationship on lies, however small they may seem to you. Sooner or later, your lies will surface, and then they will damage the trust in your relationship. Number 3. Not communicating openly. People always say that open communication is the key to a healthy and lasting relationship. If you can't talk honestly with your partner about your worries, desires, or problems, can you really say that there is a real connection between you two? A partner who rolls their eyes when you try to tell them something important, or dismisses your concerns easily without even listening to you, is not a good sign for the relationship. This behavior increases the distance between you two, and, if it is left unresolved, it ruins the relationship. Number 4. Being disrespectful. Respect is of utmost importance for a healthy relationship. Without respect, there is no honesty, trust, or closeness. Being disrespectful shows the lack of love and care that can damage a relationship usually beyond repair. Not appreciating your partner's opinion, insulting them, or talking badly about them to other people are types of behavior that signal disrespect. That way, you show that you don't cherish your partner and the relationship. If you act in this manner, don't be surprised if you end up being alone. Number 5. Nagging and criticizing. Nagging and constant criticizing are on most people's list of worst relationship behaviors. It sends them a message that you know better and that they should do as you say. It means you are trying to assert your dominance. The problem with that is that relationships should be a partnership of two equal individuals. It is not a good sign if one of you always has to say something bad about the other. Your partner is their own person, and they should be free to make their own decisions, and you should respect that, even if you do not always agree with them. Number 6. Acting like you're single. When you're in a relationship, your behavior inevitably changes. You don't go out with your friends as often as you did, and you don't stay out all night for starters. But many people continue acting like they are single even when they start a relationship. No one wants to be with someone who acts the same with or without them. If you act the same regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not, you're sending a message to your partner that there is no difference to you if they're in your life or not. This makes people feel unappreciated and superfluous. Number 7. The power struggle. Many people act as if the relationship is competition. There is a constant power struggle going on. Both partners try to dominate the other one and get a better end of a deal when there's a need for compromising. But the relationship is not a war. It is a partnership. You and your partner are on the same team. There is no use in arguing who did the laundry the last time, or whose idea of a trip is better, or who brings more money to the table. This kind of power struggle often leads to a breakup. Your relationship should matter more than that temporary win. Number 8. Financial independence. When you're in a serious relationship, one of the things that comes with it is some kind of financial arrangement. Continuing your financial independence when in a relationship poses some potential problems. If you two are spending your money without consulting each other, a question of who pays the bills or who buys the groceries can rise. You two can find yourself fighting a lot about menial everyday spending. Working out your finances in a way that works for both of you can prevent many unnecessary fights. Number 9. Avoiding fights and serious talks. One thing may come as a surprise to you. It is quite okay and healthy for couples to fight sometimes. Of course, you should not be fighting all the time. It is hard to fight with someone you love, but it can be good for the relationship. Fighting means you two can be honest and open with one another. It is a step towards resolving any issues you may have. If you keep it all inside and avoid fighting at all costs, eventually your problems will surface and cause even more trouble and negative emotions. Fighting does not necessarily need to be hurtful and aggressive. You can talk it all out with much love and mutual respect. Number 10. Not being open to new experiences. It is easy for the majority of people to fall into a certain routine. You stop trying as much and end up doing the same old things day after day. On one hand, it is okay, because you feel safe and secure. It is all familiar to you. But the problem is when you start feeling stuck in a rut and when everything feels more rigid and predictable. Not being open to experience can ruin relationship satisfaction. Number 11. Lack of affection. Affection is one of the best things about relationships. Sweet talk, love words, and physical affection are what make us feel butterflies. Being neglectful of your partner's emotional needs is one of the biggest dangers for a relationship. As time passes by, affection changes its form, which is inevitable. But there should never be a complete lack of it. Whether it is buying gifts, making some small surprises, or sending cute texts during the day, it is important to keep the sparkle alive by being affectionate. Number 12. Passive aggressiveness. Passive aggression is the common killer of all kinds of relationships. Romantic relationships are not spared. That is a pretty bad and maladaptive way of dealing with your problems in a relationship. You are being passive-aggressive when you are being snide with your partner, or when you are avoiding them, denying their feelings, giving them a cold shoulder, and slamming things when you're angry with them. It just creates additional tension between you two, and conflicts can escalate quickly. If you deal with conflicts by being passive-aggressive, think again about how you are damaging your relationship. Number 13. Not having enough quality time together. At the beginning of the relationship, you spend a lot of time together. As time passes by and you two get settled in your routine, the amount of time you spend together may decrease. And with it, all sorts of things you used to do together. That is how you slowly drift apart and start living parallel lives. That eventually leads to falling out and going your separate ways. It is very important to have enough quality time together. Quality time means you are doing something fun and meaningful together. That keeps the intimacy and closeness between you alive. Number 14. Being too defensive. Think about the way you react when you are being criticized. If you immediately take a defensive stance, think about it again. Excessive defensiveness can quickly escalate an ordinary dispute into a serious fight. When you get defensive, you will probably start attacking your partner. And then everything gets worse. If you want to avoid unnecessary and serious fights, take responsibility instead of making excuses or pointing fingers. Do you have any bad experiences with these kinds of behaviors? Let us know in the comment section. We love reading your comments. Before you leave, our team will be very happy if you can give this video a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can be notified every time we upload a new video. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video.